friends, you know what time it is. Yes, you do. It's Saturday morning, 11 a.m. It's Renovation Nation time. All day long, at least for the next hour. That's where we're at, coming at you live from Super Talk 99.7 WTN. What a week. What a week. It's Renovation Nation Part 2. Yeah, we got another live show today. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. It wasn't going to be a rerun. Hope everybody's doing great. I'm Chad Rowland, host of this crazy show, coming at you from Super Talk 99.7 WTN. Yeah, I don't know what all I'm going to talk about today. It's the weather was great this week, though. I'll give it that. We've had, a little bit of weather here or there, but Monday was beautiful. And, normally I'm not a big Monday fan, but we were doing, I'll do a couple golf tournaments a year that I like to get involved with. And one of them was the the zones this past week, 104. We were down there in, where were we? Nashville Athletic Club, the golf club, down there in the Cool Springs area. That was beautiful. Course was absolutely beautiful. And I got to give a big shout out to Jeff McAlpin. Former drummer of Redstone way back in the day. He came out and played, and he's killing it. He's absolutely destroying it. And he's playing a lot too. But he was. If somebody got voted most consistent, that was Mr. McAlpin, Mr. Jeff. What's up, big man? But and then got thanks to Matt Coots, good buddy of mine. He referred me to another gentleman who had another gentleman as well, and it was Nick Hall and Cooper, and I can't remember Cooper's last name. We were calling them the young guys. Me and Jeff the same age, so we were the old men. We had the young guys come in, and they absolutely destroyed it too. It was great. We shot a 56. Still came in fourth, but I don't know. Might have been some pencil whipping. I don't know. But Jeff got the closest to the hole, and I forget the number, 13 or something, and he got it within it was less than a foot, or right at a foot or whatever. He lawn darted it. It was great. But the course was in great condition. I got to say that. And the greens, I liked them. We should have really shot about a 52, but we were putting them in the back of the cup and bouncing over. Yeah, that's what we're talking about today, golf. We're going to talk golf all day. I'm tired of talking roofing, siding, soffit, fascia, gutters, chimney caps, skylights, and home attic insulation too. I'm not really tired of talking about it, but I keep, there's only so many things you can say about it, right? And, I know we get a lot of new listeners daily, and or showly, or however you want to say it. And, I guess I got to keep talking about it, but sometimes I like to squirrel if you're just tuning in. And those of you that tune in a lot, you're probably like, he's not talking roofing and get my roof inspected. And hey, but if you should need that at the moment, and I would say a lot of you do, if you haven't this year already, you're overdue for your complimentary RTM roof inspection. Give us a ring, 615-500-0751, 500-0751, or go to rtmroofing.com, scroll to the bottom of the page, fill out the contact card. You don't have to click anything until you clicked where your name goes. Just scroll to the bottom. And for all your roofing, siding, soffit, fascia, gutters, chimney caps, skylights, and as I said, home attic insulation needs. Blown in. We do blow-in insulation. So, yeah, there's that. So, you overdue. So I'll quit harping on all that. But, yeah, the golf tournament was great. It was really great. And got to give Laura Muncie a big shout-out. I've been working with her since the beginning, 2017, and she's a rock star in the Cumulus industry and the radio industry and all that other good stuff. But yeah, it was great. We had a good time and got to, I actually swung good. If we were playing straight up, I would have shot about an 80 to 83, maybe 84. I might have had one ocho. We call that an 8. You drive it in 280 yards and you're on in 2, but you 8 putt. But this day, though, I got to say, when you've got a good scramble team, that it's not just somebody can always drive it 300 yards, 350, or whatever it may be. You've always got somebody that'll pick up the shot. And, that's why I like playing scrambles. It's best ball. If you're playing scramble golf, for those you don't know, it's best ball. So whoever gets the best shot, we use their shot, then we all shoot from there, and so on and so forth. So, but it was really great because I mean, these younger guys, they were just absolutely knocking the cover off the ball. And then Jeff and I were, we're the tortoises. We're just consistent, just straight down the middle, or not too much, but nevertheless, taking it 2.25 to 260, 270, and these boys are 300-yard boys. But if they were off one, we had our shot. When we were off on some shots, they had the shot, or someone always stood up and got it. It was great. I mean, normally with scrambles, it's usually everybody's terrible and there's one good guy looking at everybody like they're crazy, or some other combination. But that day, it was like whenever a shot was needed, somebody in the group took it and hit it and got it. At least minus maybe 2 or 3 holes, but we didn't bogey, and we were birdies and I don't know how many eagles, 4, 5, 6, I don't know. 4 eagles and the rest birdies, and then some pars. But yeah, par was the best score you can get. But but no, it was fun. It was fun. So I just want to talk about that for a minute because it was great. Because I like always sponsoring a lot of different stuff for stuff like that. And met a lot of good vendors out there, actually. Met a window person. I'm going to end up meeting with them just to get some more information about them, because I'm always, referring a lot of stuff out. And I always say we do everything on the outside of the house. RTM Roofing does everything on the outside of the house except bricks and window. We've got a mason we can refer you to. Now, you can go through us if needed, but I like saving some people some money sometimes. And here, just pay him directly. But windows, I don't know window people. I mean, I know a bunch of different companies out there. I definitely do. I just don't. I don't know who to refer to. You're a Pella person, or you a Window World person, or you a whatever. I don't know. I don't know. And a lot of people don't know when it comes to roofing. Now, you see a lot of names out there everywhere. Of course you do. There's been hundreds of new roofing companies formed in the state of Tennessee in the last couple of years. I guess I got to go back and look. I started my company in 2015, October 15th, 2015. And here we are, going on the 11th year coming up here in October, which is coming up fast, mind you. That I don't know how many roofers there were in Middle Tennessee, but there weren't this many. And there weren't this many people in Middle Tennessee either. I'll say it that way. So definitely a lot more businesses come in. But how do you choose who you're going to use when you've got a problem? Whether it's, your roof or your gutters or your siding, soffit, that's like the vinyl siding that's, you look up and you'll see it. Under porches, things like that, eaves, that's your soffit. And you got, fascias, either wood, your frame around your house, like the gables, A-frames, and all that stuff. That's your fascia. It's either wood or it's either painted wood, or people wrap it with metal. I'm a big fan of metal because you don't have to repaint it. And minus, over the years, you got to maintenance it a little bit because the nails will back out. But it's a lot less expensive than repainting it. And I'm not knocking painting, but, if you're really going to keep it up and, as I say, treat it like an airplane and maintenance it to spec, then, you'd be painting it in 5 to 10 years, depending on what paint you did or how you did it or how you had it done. Everybody usually thinks it's just like when trying to pick a roofer or trying to pick a company, that if something you need right now, it's like you assume something. And it is an assumption unless you've done it before. Now, if you've done it before, it's a different story. You've already been through this game or that game. But if you've not done it before, it's sometimes a great experience, and sometimes you're like, I'm not doing that again. And if I do, I'm going to do this instead. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to turn left instead of right. And that's where it comes to, I'm the same way in a lot of stuff that I buy outside of the industry that I'm in. When it comes to my roofing, I know what to do. But it's because I do it every day. With other stuff, I don't, and that's how do you choose who you're going to pick? Well, I guess the traditional way, the old school way, is you'd call somebody that had something like that done and say, hey, who'd you use? Did you like them? I like word of mouth. I really do, and especially when I know the people I'm talking to that's, they got no skin in the game to refer me to somebody. Well, hey, they might. I don't know. I have to give a couple guys a hard time. But my point is that they actually went through the experience. They were ignorant of it as much as I am right now, looking for help, whatever it may be. Yeah, I'm gonna call somebody I know and say, who do you use? And what they do, and get deep. Go online. Go to rtmroofing.com. Look at their website. Do they have a website? Now I know websites are a little antiquated now, or they're getting there, but still, it's an old school phone book. Go look. See. They have an office. Are they from here? I don't mean just do they live here. I mean, but are they from here? How long have they been here? Are they headquartered here? That matters at times. Sometimes it doesn't matter, but sometimes it does. Especially if you do run into situations that you can't get handled. I like going to the main guy. I'm trying to go up the food chain. People get to me at times when needed. Not needed, no need to get to me unless I know you. But yeah, that's you can find me too. Now I'm at the undisclosed location on the hill at the moment, but my office is in Nashville, Tennessee. But nevertheless, yeah, that's where I would start initially. And what else? Look at reviews. Now reviews, I got different thought processes on reviews. Number one, they can be paid for. So that's biased. Not that it wouldn't be a legitimate review. Number two, when everybody's got, or someone told me this, when everybody's got perfect reviews, that's interesting, because I've never seen anything perfect. And then, of course, there's always the bad reviews. And it's like an old gentleman told me one time. He said, son, if you ain't busy, if you don't have somebody mad at you, you ain't busy. I don't know about that. We'll find out when you come back. Hey, this is Chad with RTM Roofing and host of Renovation Nation. RTM Roofing's commercial division is looking for you. Are you a property manager? Do you own the building? Are you the business owner? You tired of leaks? You tired of chasing leaks? Call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751 or go to rtmroofing.com, scroll to the bottom of the page, fill out the contact card, and let us help you out. And you know what time it is. It's Renovation Nation time. Or do you know what time it is? I don't know. One of these shows, I'm going to get back on the groove or just keep changing it as I go. But we are back. We are back. Live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chad Rowland, host of this crazy show. Yeah, talking reviews when we left here. How do you find a company you need or someone you need to do a service or something problem you've got? And we were going into some old school ways. The old school method is you call somebody you know, and the new method is you go online, find a website. Do they have a website? Now, I'll give you a pet peeve of mine. I wasn't going to say this, but I'll give you another pet peeve of mine after I talk about reviews. You've got all good reviews. Great. Interesting, but great. You've got no reviews. Well, that's interesting. Maybe new. Hey, maybe you're just an upstart, which is fine. People make fun of new companies. I don't make fun of new companies because you have to start new sometime. So no reviews. Okay, well, let's see what's going on with that. And then some that you've got the good and the bad. And when I was leaving that last segment, I was talking about the gentleman told me, if you ain't got somebody mad at you, you ain't busy enough. Now, I'm not a big fan of that either because I don't like anybody upset with us. But when you do enough work, accidents will happen, and some people get mad. That's just welcome to the public. I mean, yeah, welcome to the public. And it's not as much mad as frustrated, and sometimes I've noticed it's not even that they're mad about. Now, I'm not going to get off of my Psychology 101 shows today, but sometimes it's other things, and you just happen to be the one that gets it. I've been there. I've had to learn to listen, as my wife tells me. That's because I'm always like, well, let me fix this, and I can't fix everything, but I can fix the stuff that we do wrong. I can do that. Yeah, 100%. That's something that Maybe you read reviews or maybe you experience on your own. But I found that bad news travels quicker than good. That if you do something right, or wrong, actually, if you do something wrong and then make it right, of course, that's what you're supposed to do. But number two, that news doesn't get out. So it does, but it's not as quickly out as they didn't come back and fix anything. They took my money. There's a whole nother show. Do you give money up front? Legally in Tennessee, they can ask for up to 30%. If I remember my contractor's license correctly. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Now, at RTM Roofing, unless it's a larger job, like a large job, we don't take anything up front. Don't have to. I don't need to. That's the good point. That's something that reviews don't always say. That's something that people don't know until you experience RTM Roofing. There is a level there. And by the way, if we ever do take money up front, it's when we got the materials on the ground and started the work. I don't take anything before we're sitting there with a hammer swinging and going all that. And usually it's when the job's completed. Now, we'll have punch lists sometimes on large jobs. It's like, you don't pay in full until the job's complete, 100%. But if we've got a large job, we might, after we get X, whatever distance down the road, we're collecting X, and then we collect Y. And then if there's a punch list, do the wrap up, we collect the final 10% or whatever it may be. But we don't walk in, go and give us 50% up front. Don't do that. Well, don't do that unless we've already worked for a week or whatever it may be, and we're on the ground and all the materials are there and everything's there, and which means that's your stuff. So, and we got it here, so pay us back. But yeah, that's something. So the reviews, reviews are good, but I don't always trust reviews. I don't, because not in this world of AI now, and although I can spot AI writing so far pretty daggum good, but the pet peeve, that's what I wasn't going to talk about. Yeah, but now this is me personally. I can't speak for everybody, but someone told me this that made me think about it, and they're right. I think they're right. Take that with a grain of salt. I love my Gmail. I've got a Gmail account, right? And, of course I do a personal account and all that good stuff. But when I always say you go to our website, rtmroofing.com, well, you get to our emails. It's so-and-so at rtmroofing.com, not a Gmail. Now, let me caveat something. If I'm just doing little this, little that, little this, little that, and I'm purchasing something from someone doing a little this, little that, selling a little this, a little that, whatever it may be, and they got their one-man operation or whatever it may be, and, they send me back with a Gmail, I'm like, okay. But if I'm buying something that's $10,000, $15,000, $20,000, $100,000, I get an email. Get an email. Pay the $150 a year and get a real email. I know people try to save money, and that's all good and dandy. And like I said, it's my personal opinion. This is a Chad-A-Rant day. I'm gonna rant. I'm in a ranting mood about funny stuff, actually, because it really doesn't matter in the end. People gonna do what they want to do. I'm just saying, if you want to sell me something that's a high ticket price, I don't want a Gmail to reply to. That's typically my thing. And RTM Roofing doesn't have Gmails. But we're not selling you $5 items or $10 items. We're selling you something that protects everything that you own. Something you sleep under 99% of the time, unless you're traveling a lot. But you're sleeping under somebody else's roof then. But yeah, that's what we do. We do the roofing, we do the siding, and everybody knows what siding is. I can hear Brandon Mitchell in my head right now. Some of these people don't know what in this stuff is when you just go flying there, Chad. I'm like, you're right. You're right. I think people know what siding is, but that's on the side of your house, whether it's brick. Now, that's not technically, I guess it would be siding, but it's brick. Then you've got vinyl siding. You've got hardy board. You've got wood siding. There's probably some metal siding out there. I haven't done that as metal roofing, of course. But, you've got the siding that we do. You've got gutters. Everybody should know what a gutter is around here. Now, if you're coming up from Florida, I notice there's not a lot of gutters down there. There's some, but not a lot. On houses, it cringes me when I see that. But that's for that market down there, and it's all good. But up here, gutters need maintenance. I mean, I'm going to squirrel so much today, y'all don't even know what I'm talking about because I was fixing to jump again. After the gutters, then you've got the soffit. And now, soffit is something that most people probably wouldn't know what it is. Well, all you got to do is just walk out your front door, look up, and right when you see the gutter, look right back behind it towards the house right there again, since you're facing the road, and you'll see something about a foot wide. And most times it's got holes in it, or it's solid painted with those screens, like your AC screens, intake screens, letting air in. That's your soffit. And that's usually, it's wood, of course, but it can be wrapped in vinyl. It can be wrapped in metal if you wanted. But nevertheless, that's your soffit. Now, that stuff people usually are adding to it, like taking where it's been painted multiple times and they're tired of painting it and this and that, and then they want to wrap it in vinyl. That's when the vinyl goes on. That's about the only time that you're really changing it, unless a storm's happened or it's just finally gotten old and you're changing everything out and you're changing colors. Then we'll change it out. So that's one of the items you don't change much unless squirrels are chewing into it somehow up on your roof with dormers and all that. It's your eave. It's overhang of your eave. It's your overhang. The bottom of your overhang is your soffit. And then siding soffit, yeah, of course we got the fascia, and I've just already talked about the fascia. That's the picture frame around your house going up and over. You look at the end of a house, a ranch house, a gable end, which is basically just like a pyramid without a base. You just see the straight up and down or diagonal up and down. That's either wood, painted or not. Like I said, when you paint, there's a method of painting, a quality of paint, a time to paint to where it's going to last. Yeah, 10, 15 years, maybe. Maybe it's on the shady side of the house. And shady sides are shady. And it doesn't last as long. You got to repaint it, and that's not inexpensive. Neither is wrapping it in metal, but you don't have to do it twice. At least in the next 15 to 20 to 30 years. But yeah, it's something like that. And when you come back, I'll give you the number should you need any of that. Other than that, it's a Saturday. Hope you're enjoying the day. Thanks for listening today. You're listening to, well, you know.
Hey, this is Chad Rowland with RTM Roofing. Are you the type of person that takes pride in your home? Let RTM Roofing help with the exterior, with your roof, with your siding, with your soffit, fascia, your gutters, your chimney caps. Home insulation now too. Call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751 or go to rtmroofing.com, scroll to the bottom and fill out the contact card. Let RTM Roofing help you get ready for summer.
And you know what time it is. Yes, you do. It's Renovation Nation time. 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. every Saturday right here on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chad Rowland, host of this crazy show. And before I forget today, or this segment, if you need to contact RTM Roofing, the quickest way to go to RTM Roofing is go to rtmroofing.com and scroll to the bottom of the page. Fill out the contact card. Immediately dumps right into our system. You'll receive an email. You'll receive a text. Oh, and if you want to call, say, please call back. And you'll have the date, the time, and the person's coming out, name and number. And then we're off to the races. See what you got going on. See what you need. See if you just need an inspection. We get a lot of people. Hey, I got to give some kudos. There's some people listening out here that actually were, well, from my vantage point, doing what they're supposed to be doing when it comes to their home. And that's getting their roof inspected once a year. Hey, in this industry, it's free. It's free. I've got my free going on. It's Chad-A-Rant Day, remember? I told you that. Yeah, two worst words in the English language, free and fair. One isn't in the Bible, and the other one it's not free. It's not free. But it's complimentary from RTM Roofing. We do give that away to homeowners. If you own a home And, if you're renting a home, that's fine too. Tell the landlords, give us a ring. Or send them the bill. But I'm being serious now, though, that no, it's complimentary. There's no charge. It's the only service industry that when you do have a problem and you need an estimate, there's no charge for it. Now, they say free. It's not free. It costs people time and money to come out. And that's why I hate it. Everybody thinks they're getting a free roof, which, again, there's nothing free. You're not getting a free roof. There's always some skin in the game. And usually, nowadays, they're not giving away as many free roofs as they used to. Even when I won't go too far in that, but just Google it. But my point is that the easiest way to get a hold of us, the fastest way, the 2026 way, is go to our website, rtmroofing.com, and scroll to the bottom of the page. Now, you want to go OG style, which is perfectly fine. We OG, 615-500-0751. 500-0751. And I already said go to rtmroofing.com. That really is the most efficient way of it all. Otherwise, you'll always be on the phone either with me or Dwayne or one of the other people for like hours because we talk a lot. Actually, Dwayne doesn't, I do, but that's a different story. But nevertheless, yeah, get your roof inspected and we'll come out and look at your roofing, siding, soffit, fascia, gutters, chimney caps, skylights, should you have them, should you want them. And now, if you prefer us to or ask us to, look in your attic at your insulation. Especially if it's blown in, or it doesn't matter what's up there unless it's foam. The foam, that's a different story. We do blown in attic insulation. And a lot of you, I've noticed, have not the same amount of R value or insulation, if you will, in your attic, even though it's still up there. It's compressed. It was loose and fluffy with air gaps in it, and air has a value, an R value of, I got to learn what R stands for, as I would say rolling, or RTM. But that it's got a value that adds up, and R32, I think it's 32. Yeah, pretty sure on that. If not, that's my personal opinion. R32 is codes. It's the R value they should get. It might be R36 or 8 right now, but it doesn't matter. The point I'm trying to get at is it's not what it was when they put it in, and it was up to codes, giving you your most efficiency, especially if it's 10, 15, 20 years old. And you go beyond that, it gets even worse. Not worse, you're just spending a lot of money that you shouldn't have to. And you can actually recoup the money you're spending right now, and that's the best part about it. Your roof, you're going to recoup your value of your home plus some, especially if you're planning on selling it. I want to give some good advice out here for some realtors. Because I've been doing this long enough now, I could be a realtor and I don't want to be. And I'm not going to be. But my point is I've learned a lot working with a lot of good realtors. And I say you make money on your roof. Now, you talk to them about the data and all this and that. But the numbers, I was talking to a realtor the other day. 3 things they get beat up on almost all the time. The roofing, the AC, and, of course, foundation. All the other stuff is just semantics. Light switch doesn't work. Well, that's electrical, no doubt, but usually it's just the switch or something like that. But when it comes to roofing, you just can't change a switch. There's a value to that. And the biggest value is it's not necessarily the money you'll make on top of putting a new roof on before you sell, if you've got an old one. Now, don't put a new roof on if it's 5 years old, 10 years old. It could even be 15 years old. But when you get into 15 and above, you're subject around here, especially if it's not been inspected. There's a good question to ask your realtor when you're buying a home. How many times they have that roof inspected, minus the one time we're doing now? Like a car, you normally keep up with your oil changes. When you go trade it in, you get hey, look, here's my records. Here's the records of every oil change, every tire change, every bit of maintenance on this product. And the funniest part about it is it's a depreciating asset as a car. Your home appreciates. So you want a better resale value or less haggling? Have some maintenance records on your roof. Get it maintenanced. That's where I'm going, because most people don't have any records of their roof other than their first home inspection they got when they bought it. And I get it, and that's good. It was great then. Hey, if it passed all colors, then it passed all colors. But you're now 10 to 15 years later. You're 8 years later. You're 1 year later. I mean, that's how quickly things can change. They don't always change that fast, but they can. And you don't know unless you get it inspected. So call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751. 500-0751. Or go to rtmroofing.com for your roofing, siding, soffit, fascia, gutters, chimney caps, skylights, and blown-in attic insulation needs. Yeah. All right, I'm done. Y'all go home. Have fun. I do have to remind you, though, that this year, and much like every year, we've always given something off. It's the way I like to give back. Don't get me wrong, we do some other giving back in some other avenues, but I like to give to the people that we meet. And we typically would always do 10% off. Hey, that's most people like negotiating anyway. It's hard, you can't negotiate on an insurance job, but you can on a retail job that we'd always do 10% off. And we don't mark it up 20 to knock it down 10 or all that old just crazy sales, I call it. No, we have it where we've got to be to stay in business, and we can knock a little off the top of that to help you out, because the bank accounts aren't as full as they were a couple years ago. Nothing is as inexpensive as it was a couple years ago. Things are only going higher. It's sort of like, it's funny, wages aren't going up, but everything else is. Oh, wages going up, but not like everything else is. And so it's one way we can help give a little bit back. And on large ticket items, that's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. It's a vacation to some people. It's a couple vacations to some people, and it's a small car to others. I mean, again, it's money back. And there are going to be more increases this year. I want to do the weekly update. Weekly update. Well, I didn't get the price increase last week, which is good. So far, I've not heard about it coming up next week. I do know it's coming. I don't know when. I think July or by July, but I don't know. But I do know another one is coming. It's the same product. Yesterday as it will be tomorrow, except the number will change. So again, it's one of those, save yourself some money, because you might have to spend a little, but you're not going to spend as much as you would have should you have an issue that we come out and find. Even on a standard inspection, I just come out, I just want to check my roof to make sure it's all good. I know it's all good. I've not seen a leak. Fair enough. When we get out there and you got bad pipe boots, you've got deteriorated caulking, it's under $1,000 repair. But we're talking about a $15,000, $18,000, $20,000, $25,000 roof. That's where it hurts when you're like, oh, it's great, I ain't got a leak anywhere. And we get up there and there's nail pops everywhere. You've just not seen the water coming in, but it's definitely getting there. And it's a car with 200,000 miles on it. It's shot. The engine, it'll turn over, but every day you're putting 4 quarts of oil in it to go to the gas station to fill up. If I can say that out loud, right? But that's the key, is that get back on that maintenance. You get on that maintenance schedule. Keep your records. When you sell your house and they come arguing about your roof, going, no. Yeah, it's a 07 model. But we've changed the oil at least every 3 years, and we've rotated the tires at least every 10. And yeah, she's got some mileage on it and a few scratches, but she's still in operating condition. So you can take that. You want a new roof and $40,000, and go pound sand. And then the people that really appreciate stuff like that walk in and go, look at the records they've kept on this. Look at this right here. Look at that right there. How can you? Yeah, we're going to try to knock some off. Hey, we're going to offer them $50,000 less, but nah, I want this. That's a little easier sale. And it's what I call a win-win. People know what they're walking into, and the value is there. They're getting the value of the product they should be getting. And that's what people have a hard time seeing, the value of their roof. They really do. I did too. Hey, I was just like everybody until I got in this side of the business. Like, hey, I wasn't a brain surgeon, went to school and became a brain surgeon. Wow, y'all should know about this. Or, hey, eat the blue pill. Don't be red pill. Just eat the blue pill and go on about your way. But anyways, you're listening to Renovation Nation, coming at you live on Super Talk 99.7 WTN. And you know what time it is. It's Saturday. It's Renovation Nation time, and we're going to do what the man said. See you in 3.
Hey, this is Chad Rowland with RTM Roofing. Are you the type of person that takes pride in your home? Let RTM Roofing help with the exterior, with your roof, with your siding, with your soffit, fascia, your gutters, your chimney caps. Home insulation now too. Call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751 or go to rtmroofing.com, scroll to the bottom and fill out the contact card. Let RTM Roofing help you get ready for summer.
And you know what time it is, because you are back live on, well, Super Talk 99.7, but it's Renovation Nation time. Bum, 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 bum. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Oh, man. What a day. What a day. I do like some of the weather. They're talking about my weather guy that I always follow. He's talking about it's the coldest summer he's ever. Now, he looks in his young 30s or late 20s, but he's never seen one this cold. And I believe it. I believe it on Buddy's pool the other day, and it was like 78 degrees. I'm like, I'm not 15 anymore. I don't think I'm doing that. But anyways, you're listening to Renovation Nation, coming at you live from Super Talk 99.7 WTN. I'm Chad Rowland, host of this crazy show. We've had a pretty wild day today. I'm talking Chad-A-Rants. Hey, don't use a Gmail when you're selling me something. If you hadn't heard that, or if you missed any of the show days, I've had a few rants if you like that kind of stuff. And, look, it's just my personal opinion. In the end, it really doesn't matter. But, hey, I got to talk about something. That's something to talk about. That you can go, if you missed any of that, need to catch the show. If you just now tune in, go to YouTube. Or actually, go to RTM Roofing. Then you'll see our YouTube link. Actually, you'll see videos on our website. And I've got to say, I get calls all the time. And, any of you business owners, and probably just anybody in general does, but I'll get calls all the time about my website. You need this, you need that, and all. You know how everybody always does. And I don't blame them. Hey, cold calling, that's a tough gig, but, sometimes you need it. Well, they were like, talking about my website and this, and I said, well, I'm good, and I don't need any help over here or there. We've got that covered already. And she goes, I just want you to know, that's one of the best looking roofing websites I've ever seen. I had to call Dwayne after that because we made it different. I didn't want to look like your traditional roofing website, because we're not, well, we are your traditional roofer when it comes out to put it on and get it off and put it on and do it right. But we're not in the traditional sense of, well, it's like chiropractic, right? I was talking about this the other day. Back in the 80s, for all you youngins, back in the 80s, chiropractic came into play in my world. This is my teens and up to through the high school. And I remember everybody, it was like voodoo, chiropractor, witch doctor, da, 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 da. And let me tell you something, chiropractic is the real deal. But it's sort of like that when it comes to roofing. Everybody goes on what it used to be, and there's still some of that out there, no doubt about it. But there are new ways and accepted things to do. It's not your grandfather's roofing company anymore coming out. It's not Johnny and 3 trucks and, or whatever it may be. There are actually companies out here that, are from 2026. And I don't mean just starting. I mean, in today's world of what's going on, and here's how we do it, and this is how we're going to do it professionally, and look like we do it professionally. And, my uncle always said, do it right, but make it look good. Do it right, but make it look good. Because you can do it right and it still look like a mess. Make it look good. Leave it better than you found it. And that's That's one of the things RTM Roofing does to the best of our ability. And if we don't, we're out there at least till we get it right. And that's happened. That's happened. Hey, it's called construction for a reason, I think. It's not surgery. I'll put it that way. I've cracked up before when this is in the early years. Actually, this is before I started my company, when I was selling roofing, that I had a client calling. They're throwing stuff. It's just everywhere in the yard. It's everywhere. I mean, she was losing it. And then ever since that day, anytime I'm talking, and our people do too, when we're talking to you about what's going to go on during a roof replacement, I'm going, hey, if you want to be here when we first tear it off, great. But go leave. It's going to be loud, going to be noisy, it's invasive. We're not in your house, but it sounds like we are. And, go shopping, go do something. Get away, come back in, 3-4 hours, and it'll have calmed down. And we'll have cleaned up the mess a lot more than it is now, because we don't remove one shingle, walk it down the ladder, stack it in a trailer. It comes and it goes off. And we, of course, tarp and protect landscape and all that good stuff. But it's an explosion. It's an explosion, especially when we're ripping off a whole slope or the whole front half, or if we're getting it done in one day, we rip it all off, but we only tear off what we know we're putting back on. And yeah, it's just like I walk around your house. If I've sold you a roof, or whatever way you want to put, if you've purchased a roof from RTM Roofing, and if the guys aren't, you should request it. I want you to walk around my house when we're done. That's what I tell my guys to do. You don't always have to. Sometimes people don't care. Like, hey, yeah, here's your check. Bye, get out of here. I love it. I like to walk around the house and make sure everything's done right. We got a field manager that does that, but as a sales representative, it's always classy. It's to walk back out there and walk around with it. And in the very beginning, I'm walking around with you. If you're home, when I'm out doing my inspection, I'm walking around with you, looking. I'm pointing out all the stuff that's the imperfections of your roof. Now, I don't mean it's the problem. I mean, that's a raised rafter. There's always going to be a hump right there. So when you get this new roof, and you go, what's that hump, Chad? I'm going, it's the same one that was there before we did it. You hadn't looked at your roof in 20 years, 10 years, 15 years, 100 years. I don't know. But you didn't, most of you haven't looked at it in a long time, really walked around and looked at it. And if it were in a funny movie, I'd go, it shows. But I get it. That's why, look, whether or not you ever call RTM Roofing or not, understand, walk around your house and look at your roof. Thank me later, don't thank me later. Walk around and look at your roof. Look at your gutters. Just walk around your house. Look at the caulking on your windows. If you've got brick in that window frame and there's a bead of caulk going around that window, look at it. That's going to tell you a lot. Now, you don't have to do anything about it. Like, go get the caulk gun and da-da-da. Look at it. Then start studying stuff. Now, if everything looks great, awesome. 3, 6 months, 9 months, now do it again. 3, 6 months, 9 months, a year after that, do it again. And then you'll start seeing change. It's like a glacier moving. You don't see it moving, but you come back and, in X years and look, that window had moved a 1/4 inch, caulking's gone, I can stick my knife all the way in. Let's talk about that last week. And then you're wondering why your roof's leaking below, because it's over a bay window, and your bay window's leaking like a sieve because it's going, actually your bay window's not leaking, the roof isn't, it's the window above it, then I can stick my knife in. It's stuff like that we're not programmed to do. We're not educated to do. We're educated, well, we're not even educated to balance a checkbook anymore, but that's not what we've been told to do. We've been told to call the HVAC company twice a year to get our AC and the heating element of it inspected twice a year and pay a service for that. And they're right. They are right. You need it inspected. Now, twice a year, once a year, always once a year, I always say it's like a physical, but bet most people don't go 5 or 10 years, few have, I know they have, but 5 or 10 years without getting your AC looked at without something possibly going wrong with it, because you might not know it, and then you do know it, and then you get them out, and then da-da-da-da-da-da. But my point is, all back to maintenance, walk around your house. Look at your AC when you walk around the house. See if the fins are just dented to death. If they're dented to death, you might have had a hailstorm out there from the blowing hail hitting the fins. the radiator fins, what I call radiator fins. But yeah, walk around and look where your water's draining. Is your downspout, or is your gutters full? Is your hose or conduit going into the ground there where your downspouts at? Should it go in the ground? Is all the mulch and everything away from it at the base of that because it's clogged up and it's overflowing right there, but you just don't know it? And now it's starting to seep down into your foundation. And maybe if you've got a crawl space, maybe it's wet under there. Walk around. They'll say you don't have to pay anybody to come out to do that. Now, once you start seeing all the now, you need to know the difference between imperfections and problems. But we'll get to that when you call RTM Roofing at 615-500-0751. 500-0751. We'll come out and show it to you. Or show you how it's supposed to be. That's perfect. That looks great. Call us back in another year. We do that a lot. At no charge. It's complimentary. Well, see you next week. Thanks for watching Renovation Nation. Hope you enjoyed the show. Be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and share button.